Good morning. This is Mona, and this is my morning view. Today, it is Winter Edition 2026. Stretch out the arm. And this is my morning view. I think I said that. Winter 2026. It's Tips Tuesday. Tips Tuesday. My hair is a mess. It's going all over the place. I don't have a hat on. All right. Just in time for my nose to start running a little bit. Let's see if I can wipe it here. I'll give you something else to look at for a minute. All right. That might have helped a little bit. All right. Tips Tuesday. Tips Tuesday. Okay. There's only one thing I have in my brain right now, and that is taxes. Tax season. Now, it used to be that you would get your W-2 in January. You would get your W-2 in January, and then you would able to do your taxes, and you had quite a bit of time to get it out. It had to be mailed out by April 15th, right? But then automation came up. Computers, no hand-done paperwork anymore. This is all automated now. Humans really don't have to do too much of anything to get your W-2 out to you. And now it comes in February, not January. So that shortens your time to get things together, right? And if you are a procrastinator, well, the longer you procrastinate, the chances are you'll forget. It was always good to get all your paperwork together and then get your taxes done. Just get it done. The sooner the better. These people that waited to the last minute, well, it helped those people that got it done early, because then they didn't have all this paperwork at the tax office to go through all at once. Even though there is like thousands upon thousands upon thousands. So tax time. Get your paperwork together and get it done. But it's the W-2s and all the paperwork from the banks and everything else that's automated and should be faster, but is not. Trickles in the month of April. I'll get it right. February. Trickles in the month of February, and you don't want to do anything until all your paperwork is there. It's kind of better to have a checklist and get your paperwork together and check it off. Okay, got that one, got that one, got that one. These are all little nuggets. Get the checklist done. I have a checklist. I just don't know how many papers are coming. How many envelopes are needed. So that's something that I will be working on this year. Because it's not like the old days when all you had was your mortgage and your interest for your mortgage, had, your W-2s for whoever was working, whether it was just you or whether it was you and your spouse. This is after the time that buying a vehicle was no longer allowed on taxes. So it's not like, you had to worry about that anymore. And, yes, there are other things to that. But for the most part, it was, you had your donations. So you kept track of your donations. And then you got all your paperwork together and you did your taxes, and it was relatively quick. Even if you did it yourself. Then it got a little bit more complicated, so you started going to a tax preparer, H&R Blockhead. Something like that. A CPA or H&R Block, or somebody to do the taxes. And when you did that, it was done in a short bit of the morning or afternoon. Fast and easy. If you know what you're doing, it's fast and easy. if you're not a procrastinator. But then there's another part to it. For those of you who have your own business, now you have taxes for your home, your personal, and taxes for your business. Makes it a little bit more complicated. Those that have a business from home, you are a sole proprietor, or you're a LLC, and you're just, you're home doing your own thing. You still have to do your taxes. As long as you have an EIN number or a doing business as, you still have to do your taxes in a business format, which is more expensive than your normal, just I'm filing for my W-2s and here's my assets and here's my liabilities and, you do all the work, No, this takes more requirements out of you to do what you have to do, and more paperwork. And so I get those things done like in December, January, because my W-2s take forever. So all my business stuff is taken care of. But waiting for the personal. It gets frustrating. Because now, and it could be the tax people that we have, and I may need to find somebody new. But this started last year, where they were saying, go ahead and file for the extension because we perceive that we are not going to have your taxes done on time, even if you get them to us by the 15th of February. Not the 15th of March, the 15th of February. Now it is past the 15th of February. Oh, and by the way, go ahead and give yourself an estimate of how much taxes you will owe. And go ahead and pay the government the taxes you think you will owe. Well, for one, the government didn't even give us our taxes for the state until last month. From last year. It took almost an entire year to give us our taxes. Thank you. And then, it sounds like a Feisty Friday, but really it's Tips Tuesday, because I want you to know, do not sit on this stuff. Don't sit on it. So go ahead and give the government money that you think you're going to owe. And then what happens if you don't owe anything? I didn't have to owe anything last year. I don't think I had to owe anything the year before or the year before that. But the year before that, we did have to owe. It was like $100, $150, $300. It wasn't massive amounts, but, it was, we owed them money. If that's what you want to call construction. So if you give the projected amount that you think you may owe them, and things are very different this year than they have been in the past, and then they sit on it and don't return the money that you sent them, for how long? How long are they going to hold that hostage? Like they did our tax return itself when we owed nothing over 10 months. Wow. Even if you take it to April, which we had them turned in long before that, but I don't know when the official people turned them in. I don't remember. I'm thinking it was sometime in the summertime, because I remember sitting on the beach having a phone conversation trying to tell them how to do our taxes because they did not understand a certain concept about our taxes, because our taxes are not as... There's rules and regulations to different parts of our income. And they didn't know all those rules and regulations. But even we knew those rules and regulations. We could do our own taxes. We did our own taxes for a very long time. But the stress and procrastination that took place during that time period, all the way up to April 15th, to the very day. Because there's some people that do some part and some people that do other parts. And when the other person doesn't want to do the other part until April 15th, it causes frustration. Frustration. So it's like, okay, to calm their nerves and to calm mine, we won't do our own taxes. We'll find somebody else to do them. But the same problem is happening. The same issues. Get all the stuff together. I got all my business stuff together. We had to wait. And then when we got done waiting, everything around us all of a sudden ended up being where we weren't able to gather the stuff. My daughter having surgery. My husband having to do overtime. It started out being put on the table in the same spot. But then things got moved and things got rearranged and now it's going to take longer to find all the papers. And once all the papers are found, then we have to scan them all. And then after we scan them all, then we have to download them all into the file. And then we have to ship them off. And then wait to see if they're going to do them correctly. And with the notation of, go ahead and file for an extension. And pay what you think you owe. Don't wait. If you have your paperwork today, do not come home and take a nap. I took a nap this morning. I did. If it takes two of you, the two of you bind together and do what you have to do. Even if it's step one, gathering all the paperwork into one place, going through it, making sure, yes, we have all the paperwork, it is right here. And then the next day, scan it. And then the next day, download it. And then the next day, ship it. You'll have 1 week to get it all done. Even though it should have been done a month ago. But not all of that is in your hands. Some of that is in the hands of your lazy employers. Yes, I said it. Oh, that should have been a Feisty Friday. It's automated now, people. Automated. It shouldn't take you a month to send your W-2s out. No. Should not take you a month to do that. Granted, you have to wait till the last payday, the last day of the last check for the 2025 year. Yes, that is true. You have to wait for that. But after that, it shouldn't take you more than a week to get that out, which means the first week of January, they should be out. Give a couple of days of slowness for mail because, well, it's winter time. It should not take till February to get your W-2s, to get all your documents. Taxes are not a surprise. They're every year, the same time of the year. But because there's something in our brains that says, I don't want to do this, You wait and you wait and you wait and you wait and you give excuse and you give excuse and you give excuse until April 15th. And then April 15th comes and you're like, oh, it snuck up on me. No, it didn't. Oh, it's not Feisty Friday. Taxes. Ugh. Nobody likes them. Nobody ever did. But they're easier today than they ever were. You have all the automation. So what is the problem? It's in there. It's those triggers. It's the triggers in your head that are causing the problem and the delay. It's inevitable. They say two things are inevitable: taxes and death. But if you're not prepared for either one, there's a problem. I'm not going to talk about death today. But sometimes taxes feel like it's going to be the death of you. But it's not. Take a breath. 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Get all your paperwork together. Put it all in one spot. Get a little basket. Get a little Ziploc. I don't care what you get it in. Get it all together. And once you get it all together, then you can worry about step 2. But the faster you get it done, you don't have to sit there and sweat for 4 months. You don't have to sit there and stress over it for 4 months because it'll be done. Why put all that stress onto yourself? For what purpose? All right. I guess you like punishment. I guess you like to have the stress and the anxiety and the complaining, because that's really what you're doing for the placement of actually doing the work that would take 1 day. 1 day. You could actually gather all your stuff, put it together, scan it, send it out in 1 day. Want to know something really funny? You could actually do your taxes yourself if you know all the regulations and rules that you need in 1 day, along with all the other stuff. The process itself does not take a long time. What takes a long time is the heeing and hawing. And then every now and then it's like, I don't have the answer to this question. But we live in the day of Google. We live in the day of AI, and we can ask the question. And maybe it would be the right answer. But sometimes CPAs don't have the right answers either. They're doing our taxes. And we had to explain to them how it worked. This isn't an advocation for you to do your own taxes. It's not. A lot of people just really, truly don't have the time for that, okay? Especially if you run your own business. It is probably beneficial for you to have someone else do your taxes. However, I would find somebody that doesn't already say, hey, go ahead and file for an extension, because you're going to need it, because we're taking our time. Not at the amount that you pay for tax people. And get somebody that you can call and find out answers to relatively quickly. All right. That's all I've got for today. We had a parade of white cars down our block just now. All right. Blessings, everybody. Have a great day. I will see you all tomorrow for Wonderful Wednesday. And get your taxes done.